I have never heard of women who are healthy having heart attacks until I myself was in that position. I was on the phone with a friend. I felt a tightness in my chest that I thought might be heartburn, and I went to the bathroom to get Tums and actually leaned on the bathroom counter and thought, I'm not sure Tums is the right answer. Let me just sit back down on the bed. I'm still on the phone. And it just got tighter and tighter and tighter. And I started feeling tingling in my left arm. My left arm started to go numb. The phone call was ending, which was great, but I got flush up through my face, very hot feeling, and knew there was a problem. I went to sit down on the toilet, and my daughter, who's now an EMT, was downstairs. My son was on the same floor of the house that I was on. So I called my daughter because I wasn't sure I would actually get off the toilet, as embarrassing as that sounds. And I told her that I really needed some help. And she came running, my son came running, and of course by that time I was able to get off the toilet and get buttoned back up. But I turned around and I sat down on the bathroom floor in front of the sink, leaning up against the cabinet, and I said, I think I'm having a heart attack, and I think you need to get me some aspirin. And my daughter, again with her training, and we're 5 minutes from the hospital, said, she got out the stethoscope, she listened to my heart, she said, we're not going to do aspirin, we're going straight to the hospital. And she had her brother get the car. They got me in the car. We went very quickly to the hospital, ran the last light right there at the hospital entrance. We got to the ER and I could not get out of the car without help. And they wheeled me in. The nurse there at the front very quickly got assistance for me. The folks in the ER actually asked me several questions related to a stroke. They wanted to see if I was actually having a stroke, and by the third question figured out I was not having a stroke. And they kept asking my pain levels, which went from 10 to 11 and on. They hooked me up to an EKG and then told me, yes, you're in the middle of a heart attack, which was very relieving to know I was right in my thinking, but at the same time very alarming, because all of a sudden, I mean, I've had no health issues. There's no heart health issues in my family. You know, what happens next? And very quickly they got me medicated and got me in the cath lab, and you're laying on the table and you hear them. You don't feel anything at that point because they've medicated you, but you can hear what they're looking for, and two doctors were working on me and looking at the screens, and they finally found where they thought there was a blockage, but it was from a tear. And the next thing I knew, I was in the room afterwards, and the nursing care was excellent. I was in the hospital for 2 days, and fortunately was able to be just medically managed and rest at home, and that was 6 months ago. When the emergency room folks actually told me I was having the heart attack, it was instantly a relief, yes, a validation, and again, instantly, oh my gosh, I'm having a heart attack. What does that mean? Am I going to make it? This is the last time I'm going to see my kids. One of the hardest things to process that stays in the back of your mind is, what did I do to have this happen? Because all of the learning and knowledge of what a heart attack is usually by cholesterol or not being active or family history, and there's none of that. And so what does that mean? And how do we find answers so that
all of the other people who've had this type of heart attack can move forward with some peace of mind. That's the hardest thing. And how do we educate the people in the hospitals? I was so blessed to have a doctor there who knew what SCAD was. I'm thankful that he knew what he was doing. But the nurses at the hospital don't all know, or the people in cardiac rehab, or other family members. They don't know how to support you because it's so unspoken at this point. And because you look healthy on the outside and don't have a scar necessarily, it's easy for people to dismiss that it happened. As a survivor, I have to acknowledge that it happened and find a way to work through that, because it's life-changing. I learned from essentially another friend having a heart bypass surgery about the support video they give to their caregivers of the heart patient. And in my situation, that was not provided to my family. So I let the folks in cardiac rehab know that I felt that was a ball that was dropped, that it's really important for SCAD family members, SCAD survivor family members, to also know how to be there for the SCAD patient, because it is a heart attack. It is, again, just because there's not something on the outside in every situation, there are medications that you're on that can change how you feel on a day-to-day basis. There are, I would say, PTSD type of residuals, because it was an unexpected traumatic event. And the family members need to be able to support us through all of those emotional ups and downs. The way the brain chemistry changes, things seem to get magnified, all of the emotions, whether it's happy or sad, the way you react to someone in a movie or watching a scene, it hits home closer, and the family needs to understand how to help support that. I firmly believe that you know your body better than anybody else, and when you feel like something is not right, whether it's tightness in your chest, something in your arm, you need to get checked. It's best to get answers.